The clock shows 12 damn, and I am already so tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep can fix, but the kind that settles deep in my chest, heavy and thick. The kind that makes my shoulders curve forward and my jaw clench without me even realizing it. The morning has already taken so much from me, and there are still so many hours left, so many things undone, so many voices still demanding pieces of me I'm not sure I have left to give. I stand in the middle of my kitchen, staring at the light pouring through the window, bright and relentless, and I feel the weight of everything pressing down on me like a hand I cannot see. The sink is full. The counters are cluttered. My phone is buzzing somewhere behind me, and I can hear the noise of the world outside, cars passing, voices drifting, the hum of life continuing without pause, without mercy, without any awareness that I am standing here trying so hard not to break. I thought I could do this. I thought I could carry it all. I woke up this morning with intentions, with lists, with a hope that today might be different, that I might somehow find a rhythm, a balance, a way to hold everything together without falling apart. But the hours moved too fast, and the demands piled up too high, and somewhere between the phone calls and the tasks and the expectations and the small disappointments that no one else even noticed, I lost myself. I lost the ground beneath my feet. I lost the calm I was trying so desperately to protect. And now, at noon, with the sun at its highest and the day only half over, I feel like I'm drowning in plain sight, gasping for air in a room full of light, surrounded by all the things I thought I wanted, all the things I thought would make me feel whole, and yet feeling emptier than I have felt in so long. My chest feels tight. My breath feels shallow. My mind is racing, spinning through everything I haven't done yet, everything I still need to do, everything I'm afraid I'm going to forget or fail at or mess up beyond repair. There is a conversation I need to have that I'm dreading. There is a decision I need to make that I'm too tired to think about. There are people depending on me, waiting for me, expecting me to show up fully, to be present, to be strong, to have answers I don't have. And I am trying. I am trying so hard, but I feel like I am running on empty, like I am scraping the bottom of a well that should have water, but only echoes back my own exhaustion. I lean against the counter, and I close my eyes, and I feel the sting behind my eyelids, the kind that comes before tears. I don't have time to cry. I don't even know what I'm overwhelmed by anymore. It's not one thing, it's everything. It's the accumulation of small stresses and quiet disappointments and unspoken frustrations, and the constant, relentless pressure to keep going, to keep smiling, to keep pretending that I have it all together, when the truth is, I am barely holding on. It's the text I received this morning that felt like a criticism wrapped in concern. It's the way I snapped at someone I love because I was too tired to filter my words. It's the weight of responsibilities I never asked for, but somehow inherited. It's the fear that I am not enough, that I will never be enough, that no matter how hard I try, I will always fall short of the person I am supposed to be. And beneath it all, beneath the noise and the pressure and the exhaustion, there is this quiet ache, this loneliness that I cannot name, this feeling that I am moving through my days surrounded by people, and yet somehow completely alone. I am doing everything right, or at least trying to, and yet nothing feels right. I am checking all the boxes, meeting all the expectations, showing up for everyone who needs me, and yet I feel like I am disappearing, like I am becoming invisible even to myself. I look in the mirror some mornings, and I don't recognize the woman looking back at me. Her eyes are tired, her smile is strained. She looks like someone who has been running for too long, without knowing where she's going or why. The noise outside continues. A door slams somewhere down the street. A dog barks. The world keeps turning, indifferent to my struggle, and I feel so small, so insignificant, so painfully aware that my breaking point matters to no one but me. And maybe that's what hurts the most. Not the tasks, or the responsibilities, or the expectations themselves, but the feeling that I am carrying them alone, that no one sees how much it costs me to keep showing up, to keep trying, to keep holding everything together with hands that are shaking and a heart that is so tired. I open my eyes, and the light through the window is still there, soft and golden, spilling across the floor in a way that should feel peaceful, but only reminds me of how much time has already passed, how much I still need to do, how little I have left to give. And in this moment, standing here in the middle of my kitchen with the weight of the world on my shoulders and the noise of the day pressing in from all sides, I realize that I cannot do this anymore. Not like this, not alone, not in my own strength, which has run out long before noon. I don't have the words for a proper prayer. I don't have the energy to compose something beautiful or eloquent or worthy of God's attention. All I have is this desperate, aching need, this silent cry that rises from somewhere deep inside me, from a place I didn't even know was still awake, still hoping, still believing that maybe, just maybe, I am not as alone as I feel. And so I whisper, barely audible even to myself, my voice cracking under the weight of everything I cannot say. Lord, I need you. I need you right now. I need you to help me breathe. I need you to remind me that I am not drowning, that I am not failing, that I am not too much or not enough, or any of the terrible things my mind keeps telling me I am. The room is still. The noise outside fades into background. And for a moment, just a moment, there is only me and the light and the desperate hope that God is listening, that He sees me, that He knows exactly how overwhelmed I am and He has not forgotten me, has not abandoned me, has not looked at my mess and my exhaustion and decided I am too far gone to save. And then, so gently, so quietly, I feel it. Not a voice I can hear with my ears, but a presence I can feel in my spirit. A warmth that starts somewhere in the center of my chest and spreads outward, slow and steady, like water filling an empty vessel. It's not dramatic, it's not loud, but it's unmistakable. It's the kind of presence that doesn't announce itself but simply is, the kind that makes the air feel different, softer, safer. And in that presence, in that sacred stillness that interrupts my chaos, I hear words that I know are not my own, words that settle over me like a blanket, like a hand on my shoulder, like a whisper meant only for me. Breathe, I am here. Breathe, I am here. 3 words, so simple, so small, and yet they undo something inside me, something that has been wound too tight for too long. I feel my chest loosen, just slightly. I feel my breath deepen, just a little. I feel the tears that I have been holding back finally break through, quiet and warm. Not the tears of someone who is falling apart, but the tears of someone who is finally allowing herself to be held. Breathe, I am here. I hear it again, not with my ears, but with something deeper, something that knows without being told, that understands without needing explanation. And I realize that this is what I have been missing, what I have been searching for in all the wrong places, in all the accomplishments and approvals and affirmations that never quite filled the emptiness. I have been searching for proof that I am not alone, and here it is, not in the validation of others, not in the completion of my to-do list, not in the perfect response to the hard conversation I've been dreading, but in this quiet, sacred moment where God meets me in my overwhelm and reminds me that I was never meant to carry this alone. I stand there, in the middle of my kitchen, with tears on my cheeks and light streaming through the window, and I let myself just be. I let myself stop trying to fix everything, to manage everything, to control everything. I let my shoulders drop. I let my jaw unclench. I let my mind slow down, just for a moment, just long enough to remember what peace feels like, what rest feels like, what it feels like to be held by a love that does not demand anything from me, that does not require me to be perfect or put together or anything other than exactly who I am in this moment, exhausted and overwhelmed and desperately in need of grace. Breathe, I am here. The words echo in my spirit, and I feel them settling into the broken places, the weary places, The places I have been trying so hard to hide from everyone, even from myself. And I remember, as if for the first time, that God is not waiting for me to get it all together before He shows up. He is not standing at a distance, arms crossed, waiting for me to prove that I am worthy of His presence. He is here, now, in the middle of my mess, in the middle of my exhaustion, in the middle of my overwhelm. He has been here all along, waiting for me to stop running long enough to notice, to pause long enough to receive, to breathe long enough to remember that I am not alone and I never have been. I think of all the times I have pushed through, all the times I have gritted my teeth and forced myself to keep going, because I thought that was what strength looked like, because I thought that was what faith looked like, because I thought that stopping meant failing, and failing meant I was not enough. And I realize now, standing here in the light, that maybe the truest form of strength is not the ability to keep going no matter what, but the willingness to stop, to admit when I am overwhelmed, to reach out for help, to let God carry what I was never meant to carry alone. Be still and know that I am God. The words rise up from somewhere deep in my memory, from a verse I have read 100 times but never truly understood until now. Be still. Not passive, not defeated, but intentional, deliberate. A choice to stop striving and start trusting, to stop trying to prove myself and start resting in the truth that God is God and I am not, and that is not a failure but a relief, not a weakness but a gift. I take a deep breath, and for the first time all day, it feels like my lungs are fully expanding, like there is space inside me again, like the tightness that has been gripping my chest is finally loosening its hold. I breathe in, slow and deep, and I imagine that I am breathing in His presence, His peace, His promise that I am not alone. And I breathe out, letting go of the tension, the fear, the pressure, the need to have it all figured out, the need to be everything to everyone, the need to prove that I am strong enough, capable enough, worthy enough. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. It's so simple, so ordinary, and yet it feels like a miracle, like a sacred act, like a prayer in motion, because in this moment, breathing is not just a physical function but a spiritual practice, a way of remembering that I am alive, that I am held, that I am loved beyond measure by a God who sees every tear, every struggle, every moment of overwhelm, and who whispers into my spirit, even now, especially now, breathe, I am here. The light through the window seems softer now, warmer, like it is wrapping around me rather than exposing me. The noise outside is still there, but it feels farther away, less intrusive, less demanding. The clutter on the counter is still there, but it no longer feels like an indictment of my worth. It's just stuff, just tasks, just things that will get done or won't, and either way, my value does not depend on them. I feel God's presence surrounding me, not like a pressure, but like a comfort, not like a demand, but like an invitation. And I realize that He is not asking me to do more, to try harder, to be better. He is asking me to rest, to trust, to let Him be God while I simply be His daughter, His beloved, His child who is learning, slowly and imperfectly, that I do not have to earn His love or His presence or His peace. It is already mine. It has always been mine. I just needed to stop long enough to receive it. I think about all the things I still need to do today, all the conversations and decisions and responsibilities that are still waiting for me, and I feel the familiar anxiety starting to rise again, the familiar tightness in my chest, the familiar voice in my head telling me that this moment of peace is nice but temporary, that I need to get back to reality, back to the grind, back to the endless cycle of trying to keep up and falling short. But then I hear it again, so gently, so persistently, like a hand steadying me before I stumble. Breathe, I am here. And I realize that this is not just a moment. This is a truth, a reality, a promise that does not expire when I leave this room or pick up my phone or move on to the next task. God is here now, and He will still be here when I face the hard conversation, when I make the difficult decision, when I navigate the rest of this day with all its challenges and uncertainties. He is not a peace I have to conjure up or a presence I have to earn. He is simply here, constant and unchanging, waiting for me to turn to Him, to lean on Him, to let Him be my strength when I have none left of my own. I feel my heart beginning to steady, the frantic racing slowing to a calm, even rhythm. I feel my thoughts beginning to clear, the mental fog lifting just enough for me to see what truly matters, what truly needs my attention, and what can wait. I feel my body beginning to relax, the tension in my shoulders releasing, the tightness in my jaw easing, the weight on my chest lifting, not completely, but enough. Enough to breathe, enough to continue, enough to trust that I am not carrying this alone. I think about the morning, about all the ways it unraveled, all the small disappointments and frustrations that accumulated into this overwhelming weight. And I realize that I cannot change what has already happened. I cannot undo the words I spoke in frustration, or the tasks I left incomplete, or the expectations I failed to meet. But I can choose how I move forward. I can choose to carry the rest of this day differently. I can choose to release the guilt and the pressure and the need to be perfect. I can choose to trust that God is not disappointed in me, that He is not keeping score, that He is not waiting for me to fail so He can say, "I told you so." He is here, in the mess, in the overwhelm, in the exhaustion, offering me grace upon grace upon grace. I wipe the tears from my cheeks, and I take another deep breath, and I feel something shifting inside me, something subtle but significant. It's not that my circumstances have changed. The sink is still full, the counters are still cluttered, my phone is still buzzing, the world outside is still loud and demanding and relentless. But I have changed. Or maybe I have simply remembered who I am, who I have always been, beneath all the noise and the pressure and the expectations. I am not defined by what I accomplish or what I fail to accomplish. I am not measured by how well I hold it together or how gracefully I navigate the chaos. I am defined by the love of a God who sees me, who knows me, who meets me at my breaking point and whispers, "Breathe, I am here." And that is enough. That is more than enough. That is everything. I feel a new kind of strength rising in me. Not the kind that comes from gritting my teeth and pushing through, but the kind that comes from surrender, from letting go, from trusting that I do not have to have all the answers, or all the energy, or all the capacity to face what lies ahead. I just need to take the next breath, the next step, the next small act of obedience, and trust that God will meet me there, just as He has met me here. I think about the rest of the day stretching out before me, and instead of feeling dread, I feel a quiet sense of hope. Not because I suddenly have all the answers or all the energy or all the solutions, but because I know now, more deeply than I knew this morning, that I am not facing it alone. God is with me. He has been with me all along, even when I was too overwhelmed to notice, even when I was too exhausted to reach out, even when I was too proud to admit that I needed Him. He has been here, waiting, watching, whispering, inviting me to stop and breathe and remember that I am held. I open my eyes fully now, and the light through the window is still golden, still warm, but it feels different somehow, less exposing and more embracing, less harsh and more gentle. I look around my kitchen, at all the evidence of my overwhelm, and instead of feeling shame, I feel compassion. This is what life looks like sometimes. Messy, imperfect, incomplete. And that's okay. That's human. That's real. And God is not standing in the corner with His arms crossed, disappointed in my mess. He is standing beside me, in the mess, offering to help me carry what I cannot carry alone. I think about the conversation I've been dreading, and I feel the anxiety starting to creep back in. But then I remember, breathe. I am here, and I realize that I do not have to have the perfect words, or the perfect response, or the perfect outcome. I just have to show up, be honest, and trust that God will give me what I need in the moment I need it. I think about the decision I've been avoiding, and I feel the pressure starting to build again. But then I remember, breathe, I am here, and I realize that I do not have to have it all figured out right now. I can take one step at a time, ask for wisdom, and trust that God will guide me as I go. I think about all the people who are depending on me, all the expectations I am trying to meet, all the roles I'm trying to fill, and I feel the weight starting to settle on my shoulders again. But then I remember, breathe, I am here, and I realize that I am not responsible for being everything to everyone. I am only responsible for being faithful with what God has given me, for stewarding my time and my energy and my heart in a way that honors Him and honors the person He created me to be. And that means saying no sometimes. That means setting boundaries sometimes. That means admitting when I am overwhelmed and asking for help sometimes. And that is not failure. That is wisdom. That is strength. That is faith. I feel a smile tugging at the corners of my mouth, small and tentative, but real. I feel a lightness in my chest that was not there 10 minutes ago. I feel a clarity in my mind that was lost in the fog of exhaustion and anxiety. And I know that this moment, this sacred pause in the middle of a chaotic day, has changed something in me. It has reminded me that I am not a machine that has to keep running until I break. I am a person, a beloved daughter of God, who is allowed to stop, to rest, to breathe, to receive. I pick up my phone, and instead of feeling the familiar dread at all the notifications and messages and demands waiting for me, I feel a quiet sense of peace. I can respond to what needs a response. I can let go of what does not. I can prioritize what truly matters and release what is stealing my peace. I can move through the rest of this day not as someone who is barely surviving, but as someone who is walking in the grace and the strength and the presence of a God who has promised to never leave me, never forsake me, never let me carry more than I can bear with His help. I look at the light streaming through the window, and I thank God for it, for this simple, beautiful reminder that He is always shining, always present, always reaching toward me with warmth and grace. I thank Him for meeting me in my overwhelm, for not waiting until I cleaned myself up or got myself together, but for showing up right here, right now, in the middle of my mess, and whispering the words I needed to hear most. Breathe, I am here. I thank Him for being patient with me, for not giving up on me even when I give up on myself, for seeing past my exhaustion and my frustration and my moments of weakness to the heart that is trying, that is hoping, that is reaching out for something more, something deeper, something real. I thank Him for His presence, which is not dependent on my performance, not contingent on my perfection, not earned by my efforts, but freely given, generously poured out, constantly available to me if I will only stop long enough to receive it. I thank Him for this moment, this sacred pause, this breath of fresh air in the middle of a suffocating day. I thank Him for reminding me that I am not alone, that I am not forgotten, that I am not too much or not enough, or any of the lies my mind tries to tell me when I am tired and overwhelmed. I thank Him for being my refuge, my strength, my ever-present help in trouble, the one constant in a world that is always changing, always demanding, always pulling me in 1,000 different directions. And as I stand here, in the light, in the stillness, in the presence of a God who loves me more than I can comprehend, I feel something else rising in me, something stronger than exhaustion, something deeper than fear, something truer than the lies I've been believing. I feel hope, not the fragile, wishful kind that disappears at the first sign of difficulty, but the solid, anchored kind that is rooted in the unchanging character of God. Hope that I can make it through the rest of this day. Hope that I do not have to be perfect to be loved. Hope that my worth is not determined by my productivity, or my performance, or my ability to keep everyone happy. Hope that even on my hardest days, even when I am overwhelmed and exhausted and barely holding on, God is still with me, still for me, still working all things together for my good. I take one more deep breath, and I feel ready now, not because I have all the answers or all the energy or all the confidence, but because I know I am not facing the rest of this day alone. God is with me. He has given me what I need for this moment, and He will give me what I need for the next moment, and the moment after that. One breath at a time, one step at a time, one grace at a time. I think about the woman I was when I walked into this kitchen just minutes ago, overwhelmed and anxious and on the verge of breaking, and I realize that she is still me, that I have not suddenly become a different person, or solved all my problems or erased all my stress. But I have been reminded of a truth that changes everything. I am seen, I am loved, I am held. And in the economy of God's grace, that is all I need. That is more than enough. That is the foundation on which I can build the rest of this day, the rest of this week, the rest of this life. I move toward the sink, and I begin to wash the dishes, not because I suddenly have boundless energy, or because the task has become any less mundane, but because I am choosing to move forward, to do the next right thing, to trust that God will meet me in the ordinary moments, just as He met me in this extraordinary one. And as I wash, as the warm water runs over my hands, and the sunlight dances on the surface of the soap bubbles, I feel His presence still with me, not as something I have to chase or strive for, but as something that simply is, constant and faithful and true. Breathe. I am here. The words have become more than a whisper. They have become a rhythm, a heartbeat, a lifeline. And I know that when the afternoon gets hard, when the exhaustion creeps back in, when the overwhelm threatens to pull me under again, I can return to this moment, to this truth, to this promise. I can stop. I can breathe. I can remember that I am not alone, that God is here, that He has not left me and He never will. At noon, God restores what the morning has already taken. He restores my peace. He restores my perspective. He restores my strength, not all at once, not in a dramatic flash of lightning, but gently, quietly, breath by breath, moment by moment. He takes the fragments of my day, the broken pieces of my heart, the scattered thoughts of my mind, and He begins to put them back together, not into something perfect, but into something whole, something held, something hopeful. And I realize that this is grace, not the absence of struggle, but the presence of God in the middle of it, not the removal of all my responsibilities, but the reminder that I do not have to carry them alone, not the erasure of my exhaustion, but the assurance that even in my weakness, His strength is made perfect. His grace is sufficient. His love is unshakable. I finish the dishes and I dry my hands, and I take one more moment to stand in the light, to let it wash over me, to let God's presence settle deep into my bones. And I whisper, barely audible, but with every ounce of sincerity in my weary heart, thank you. Thank you for meeting me here. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for reminding me that I am yours, that I am loved, that I am never, ever alone. The clock still shows just past noon. The day is still only half over. There are still tasks to complete, conversations to navigate, challenges to face. But I am different now, not because everything has changed, but because I have been reminded of who holds everything, who holds me, who whispers into the chaos of my life the words I need to hear most. Breathe. I am here. And with that truth echoing in my spirit, with His presence surrounding me like light, with His grace empowering me to take the next step, I move forward into the rest of my day, not with the confidence of someone who has it all figured out, but with the quiet assurance of someone who knows she is held, who knows she is loved, who knows that at noon, when the world is brightest and the pressure is highest and the exhaustion is deepest, God is still there, still faithful, still whispering, still restoring what the morning has taken, one breath, one moment, one sacred pause at a time.